All over.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, welcome back to Less Cash, More Mash. My name's Tom.
And I'm Fat Mike.
Jeez. So, let me start by saying I'm going to massacre half of these names because it's just the way I feel I'm going to. So, if I do, I apologize in the beginning.
To the Scottish.
To the Scottish.
The Irish.
To anybody that yeah, because, again, so today we are doing Shieldaig. Probably not how you pronounce it, but how would you say that?
Yes.
Shieldaig.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a silent G or something, but it's a blended Scotch whiskey, a classic.
Whiskey.
Classic. Yeah, with an E too. No E.
No, it shouldn't.
Whisky, because they spell it different over there as opposed to, like, it's a telltale thing. I forget who exactly.
They were first, and they had Y.
Why?
The Irish wanted to be different, and they added the E.
Is that what it is?
And then we kind of brought that, and we, here in America, we also use
the E. So it is a blend of both Speyside and Islay malts. Now, I know that's a big deal out there because they have the Islay, and you have to be from the Isles in order to do the Islay scotches. And Speyside is the nearing area around it. So this is a blend of the two of them. I mean, they both were supposedly matured for at least 12 years. So this is not a thing. I don't think there's an age statement.
I don't believe there was.
On the actual thing, but that was what the little rumor was. So supposedly it's owned by Ian MacLeod Distilleries, although you had another name that you had got it from. And it's actually supposed to be brewed in a place called the Loch of Herring, which is a place in Terradon Hills in Scotland, Northwest Highlands, which is nowhere near the Isles or the Speyside. But that's the information I got on that. Overall, it's $15.99 for an 80 proof, and if it's 12-year each, I mean that's short money.
It says it's bottled, William and Maxwell Company.
Okay, on there it says it's bottled. Yeah. All right, so
I know I got it somewhere. But again, there you go. You want mad facts?
This one was purchased at Total Wine and More, right? Because you had got this one. So I don't know. It didn't say anything about it being a product of that. I'm gonna assume not, since it's straight up from over there. But
in that part we will get better, since the first batch of bag of tricks, or is that what you call it?
Yeah, I'm a little bag,
that we usually
bag of goodies over there. Yeah.
I wasn't in tune to when you put these in sometimes, or you find them, it usually has like a competitor, or it's exclusive only, spirits only, or whatever it'll say.
Oh, and the Total Wine and More.
Up in the corner. So.
Yeah, see, I don't shop it. Not that I'm against it, but you're shopping there, so we're trying to hit as many stores as you possibly can. I can smell the Scotch from here, just for the record.
Yeah,
just before I even get it. Before
different smell.
Before I even get it to my nose, and and I'm gonna let you do your smelling notes first, because
you're gonna give me the
Band-Aid again. Yeah, no, because that's really when you get that.
I don't really get the Band-Aid. I kind of still get the like a marsh type. I mean, I get, like, honestly, it is almost like a marsh. Like, you remember when we made the pig pen when we were kids, and we had all that moss, and we went through that. It's kind of like that dampness, that musty. Not even musty. It's like that kind of smell to me. Okay.
I don't. I get the medicinal. I do. It comes right off. But that's what a Scotch smells like to me. This smells like a traditional, typical Scotch that I'm drinking, where you get and the more it sits, the more of the smoke. The smoke flavor to me with the peated smoke gives me that medicinal smell. That it smells like almost like a. Like it smells like a dirty Band-Aid. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it other than that I do get that. Let me try a sip. The one thing, it tastes exactly like it smells. Yeah. You get that's the one thing I've noticed with the Scotches.
Not that we eat or eats dirty Band-Aids.
No. Not anymore.
Maybe he did when he was younger.
No.
Maybe that's why he's got that distinct flavor, because I have no idea what a dirty Band-Aid is.
No, it definitely gives you that. Scotch gives you that. It's a medicinal smell to me. It really does. It smells almost like a doctor's office.
Now it's kind of like a woody.
I'm digging deep here. I'm not in the same land as you, but that's okay.
Why?
That's
Dirty Band-Aids.
But I can't get it out of my head. You're right. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna smell what you smell. So
Yeah, that's not that. Or
I know the musty, like the
maybe
swamp with the moss and all that stuff. I know where you're going for that, but
Yeah, remember when we were walking through though, and it had the muck, and it was all oozing, it was all mucky water with the moss. And
you lose your shoe if you step in the wrong spot.
you got pushed in, you got pushed over.
Your head goes under like that because
we weren't lugging the logs fast enough.
And you laughed at him when he fell. I remember that very well. I ran and hid.
Someone might laugh, and then
we all laughed.
Two were
you got caught, and I was not getting caught.
They were with the little logs, and I had the bigger log, and
no, you were closest.
I was closest. I ended up head first in the swamp. Maybe that's why I have a great smell.
The funny part of that story is after you went head first, Deb was laughing, so she went head first, and then there was no way I was sticking around because I knew I took off. I was hiding under my bed.
So then he had really no help building a pig pen.
And that was the end of that.
My sister never came back for that venture.
That was
our sister, rather.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. So honestly,
there is a distinct smell, and I don't know what it is just yet.
No, it's the.
It's a Scotch. Yes, but what is it? It's not like a pine tree.
It's peat.
So how far off am I then?
No, that's it. They smoke. They smoke one of the. I say the barley or whatever is in there, one of them, and don't quote me, I don't know what these people actually do, but I saw it on Moonshiners. They take one of the things and they smoke it, and that's what gives you the smoky flavor. And then when they make the mash and it's already in there, you already get it. So they actually, but some of them, they smoke it with the peat out there and to give it that peat smoky flavor. And which always comes off the smoke part.
It comes up every time then.
Yeah, it comes off. Yeah, any of the scotches. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them. But then you'll have like when you go with the cheaper one, you get some of this smell. And as you move up, you're gonna get some of them are stronger.
Lord Calvin or something.
Well, J&B is actually probably more expensive. Grand McNish or Inverhouse are both scotches back there. Either one of them are gonna give you the same smell.
We'll go with it. This one has the most in it for some reason. You can see that we would like the Scotch. Not so much.
I haven't switched back over. Well, you know why? Because once you go to Scotch, you want to stay with Scotch because it's tough. Like they don't really intermingle.
One or no?
Yeah, you can pour one. I'll do a reference. It's gonna smell the same. This was my drink before I switched to bourbon.
I don't know how you picked this.
It was the cheapest. What does the bottom of the bottle say? $11.99, I think, or something. $12.99. Back in the day when I first started drinking it, that's why I went to it.
15 now.
50. All right. So it was. I want to say,
like everything, it's gone up.
When I first started drinking the very rare Scotch that was,
it is not far off.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This one might actually be a little more lighter.
No, again,
this one kind of really hits you more on that.
You just poured it too, though. So
been dancing around.
It has.
I don't even think I took that one with me.
You brought it here. You pre-tested that one. Make sure it wasn't poison. Yeah.
Oh. So it stayed.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get the slush ride home.
It didn't go to return trip. See, again, so that's in. I don't know. For
smell-wise, I guess.
That was why it was my go-to, though. And I did do the Grand McNish if I couldn't find Inverhouse. But as far as a baseline, it is. It's lighter on the nose. But drinkability-wise, try it. Try a sip of it. Six of one, half a dozen of another. There you go. That's why I went to it, because when I noticed on the cheap end of the Scotch, they were all relatively the same. You know what I mean? They had a similar flavor.
There is a difference in flavor.
There is.
But
you still get that smoke at the end.
You do.
Where you get that.
This has something a little more to it. Or this has something more.
Well, even in color, it's a little darker. It's a little darker in color even than what the Inverhouse is. Again, that's the cheapest one I used to find, Inverhouse. I don't think you're gonna find one that's much cheaper for a handle.
Yeah, it was Clooney too. You said you liked
That was, yeah, but that was a few dollars more. I
was
used to drink that one. Yeah. That was like 22 when I was buying it back then. There's a bunch of them like that. You could probably fill a whole line with all the cheap scotches that I used to drink out of a plastic handle. They were all interchangeable, but Inverhouse was like my go-to one because back when I was buying it, I want to say
this has a
$13.99.
little more of a punch of something that I don't know what it is just yet.
You 100% get that medicinal to me. I have a hard time.
Another flavor though.
Yeah.
There's a little more of a flavor.
I have a hard time picking out like.
And I'm not sure if it's a caramel note going down.
That's what I mean. I have a hard time finding the is there a cherry or is there a caramel or is there any of that in
Definitely
these?
missing fruit
Because
every time,
because the smoke flavor, the medicinal jumps out at you so much. Let me try the top. Overall, though, as far as if you're in the mood of scotch,
there's a difference though.
Oh, no, it is.
This one is an easier drinker.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna just sit and sip, I would probably prefer this one than this one. This one probably makes a good drink.
I bet this one opens up nice and actually brings more flavors. I guarantee it's gonna.
There's something
because it already tastes.
Yeah,
like
there is something more
100%.
here than
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. This I used to throw on ice, fill up my mason jar 3 or 4 or 5 times that night, and that's what I did. I just boom, and this was nice. I'd
So I must
sit
have
by the
melted
fire.
down pretty easy. What was the proof on this? Do you know?
Yeah, this one's an 80
80,
proof.
80.
$15.99 if I didn't say it out loud for the 750 milliliter. Again,
And
you're in the same
What was
range.
that? That was 20 something.
No, that's. I think you said it's $15.99. When I was buying it, I want to say it was $14.99.
It is $14.99.
$14.99.
So same price and
It's a handle.
right.
That's why I used to buy it. It's a 1.75 liter. So I used to get it. You know, you're not screaming. Now, if we would have did the J and B, that coated a lot more. That had more flavor to me.
That one had more in it.
No, right. Because I haven't gone back to that one. But that one, you could tell it was a little bit more money because it definitely carried itself a little bit higher. This one to me is pretty close. And even Grand
I guess
would have gave you the same
This
flavor.
would be.
It's a prettier bottle.
Well, yeah, and if somebody was coming by and they're a Scotch, and somebody in your family is a Scotch guy, probably has not heard of it. Not outrageous. It's not like you had to go buy $100 bottle.
No.
And it's got more flavor than the Inverhouse. I think.
Yep. No, I
can tell you exactly.
I
what it is.
100%
I'm not
agree. It does leave something on your tongue, and I'm not. It's not jumping out at me what flavor it is either.
It's almost like a sugary. It's a little more, which is weird. A sugary kind of not a brown sugar, almost like just a sugary.
The one thing with the Scotch to me, and I agree with you, I'm trying to still figure it out. But the one thing I find with the Scotch, and this was another reason why when I first switched over to just drinking whiskey on the rocks or without Coke or anything, was with the smoke flavor, it gave me enough taste and flavor where I wasn't feeling proof. Like you didn't get, like sometimes when you hit some of the bourbons, in the beginning I was like, whoa. Yeah. Like take our first example of Jack Daniels when it first hit you. Before you're searching for flavors, Jack was a punch and stab. It was a tough
proof too, but it's just a lot.
But it was a harsher drink. With this, especially when I threw it on ice cubes, just went right down. But that smoky, peaty flavor would just fight through.
It's still there.
It would yeah. No,
between the two,
it stays in. Well, that's what I mean too. Like as you take a sip, like it stays in your mouth for a while. Like that it stays in there. It's almost like I always reference it to like smoking a cigar. Not that I smoked a lot of cigars, but the next morning you wake up, you're like, what did I do?
No,
like
it's still, or like you did one of those square candies, like a Jolly Rancher. How when the Jolly Rancher's gone, it's still there for a bit.
It stays.
It's not obviously not that good of can't say as good. It's totally different. I mean, if you're doing green apple or whatever, but it kind of has that linger.
Mm-hmm. It smells like a traditional Scotch, but
it does.
I can't pick out. I'm not good with these. Maybe I have to practice. Maybe that's tonight's mission. Practice on the Scotch. Because they still just, the minute I grab it, I mean, I could smell it from here.
Right.
And it was like
so,
Scotch.
And even nose-wise, there's something more in the Shieldaig or Shieldaig than the Inverhouse. It's just This is like a more.
It feels more refined. Like this
like there's not as much in this one.
This feels like it's younger. This actually does almost give you like a barrel note to me. Like like there is something else that hits your tongue when you're drinking it down. Like you'll get like at the end, where the Inverhouse just kind of goes down like
if you shake the Inverhouse though, you'll get a little tingle on the sides of your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
the Inverhouse almost drinks proofier.
It does actually. It does.
Drinks
that's
like this one.
So and this is maybe that's the sugar that I'm tasting that kind of takes that away. It makes it.
It's definitely smoother drinker. This one is easier.
But you know, it's funny if you have an old timer that's looking for Scotch, he's probably going to be the J&B guy. You know what I mean? He would go because that's more known than this one, to my knowledge. I mean, if you remember it as a kid, that bottle was always known.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
We
don't really know Scotch drinkers.
No.
Though.
But if you like when you went to weddings or whatever, you'd always have like the old timer. You'd be like, "Oh, JB and Scott, JB on a rock style."
Yeah, I'm trying to because I'm actually trying to think. Cause you always found that other one. It was either like the Irish Mist or the Canadian
that was
whiskey.
Yeah,
that was it. But that was what you would find in the back of, like, I think even Tammy's father's liquor cabinet. It's got that one dusty bottle way in the back, and it's something like Seagram's VO
there's another one. Right.
You know what I mean? Like those are the ones you always found hidden in the back somewhere. Like
there might have been a random Jim Beam.
Yeah, that was like too upscale for you ain't doing no Jim Beam. Like crazy. But yeah, there was always like a Seagram's. I remember, 7 and 7.
Actually, the one we don't have here that's fairly inexpensive for a whiskey, and it's both. Him and I don't really want to do that one, but we're gonna end up stuck doing it.
Do they consider it a whiskey though?
I don't know.
I think it's Southern Comfort is what he's getting at. And I know it's not a lot of money. Oof. I don't know. If you want to see that, leave a comment down below. You might even have to have a puke bucket on the side of that one. Because last time I had that, me and him were not friends. But,
yeah, both of us probably got sick on that one.
Oh, I know I did. I know. The whole world
I'll
like a black TV
I'll
screen.
blame Donna for that one.
That was a bad one.
But Donna's father for that
I can tell you the last one, and don't you dare put that on if you're watching right now. But there's a video of me out there. I sound like Willie Whistle. I don't even remember saying any of the stuff. I was squeaking like Willie Whistle. And it was Yukon. They were doing black and yellows. I don't even know what was in it. And they weren't drinking it. Unbeknownst to me, I was. And oh my goodness.
Not unbeknownst.
Oh no, I knew I was drinking, but they weren't. And we started trying to kill a beer pong, the beer ball.
Yeah.
Mini kegs.
They don't even have them anymore, I don't think.
He had one. It was a handful of years ago. And next thing you know, he's like, just pee on the chair, Tom. Don't worry about it. That was a mess. Oh my God. What a mess. I didn't pee on the chair, by the way, but I didn't make it home either. I tell you, I had to get a ride because I was a mess. But overall,
that's like the worst feeling. You wake up on someone else's floor.
Yeah. No, I meant no.
Where am I?
Tammy drove me home, but I woke up in the house with my head in a bucket. So I was like, "What happened?" And then I saw videos of me later, and I went, "Oh my God, I did that!" I was yelling at people I don't even know. It was great. But overall, I mean, I don't know what to say about this. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
It says the classic. I mean, it doesn't veer off from the Scotch.
It tastes like a traditional.
And I don't know if we're going to get. Obviously, the Scotch connoisseur people out there would probably be able to say, "Oh no, they could tell us."
Well, let's just say
I'm not.
I've never had good Scotch, so I'm going to have a hard time. All I can relate it to is the cheaper ones.
And I've had the Glenlivet and Glenfiddich.
See, so you would be able to reference this. I've never had big money Scotch. I've never had it.
It's an acquired taste.
See, and to me, I actually like this. I told you that one time Jimmy had brought over to the house a Scotch that was supposed to be really good, and it was so medicinal. I couldn't get it from here, and I'm like, oh, that is terrible.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
So
we can't say nasty, but it's
different. No, it was back then. It was nasty.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to drink it. And I pretty much can drink anything. And I was like,
and we probably will.
That is, So it'll be interesting when we do move up in the realm, how much difference this is from...
This one's sweeter than Imbrow's, though.
It doesn't coat as much as what I remember JB coating, though, on the tongue. And
Nope.
we should actually grab that one, and we could have referenced it, because it would have been like a step up or a step down. But either way, I don't mind it. I would say give it a try. No, but yeah, you know what? Go ahead. We gotta go quick. I don't know how long. Stop. We're not doing anything yet.
Go quick.
We're not doing anything yet. Just as a reference sake. And if we go long, we apologize, but thanks for watching. We're not leaving.
Subscribe.
So if you're leaving now, thank you anyways. I just want to see reference sake, because this one's gonna be more. Yeah, I didn't rinse it out good, but I'm not like everyone else with a floor that you can just dump it on. Like I watch everybody else do that, and I just laugh.
Yeah, well, maybe one day.
I mean, when we
have clean people.
When I build a whole room just for the whiskey, because I can't fit it in my room that I have it in now. Yeah.
See, smell wise though, it's not far.
Just even looking. No, I'm just looking at how the legs actually hit this one. No, and
if you're smelling them, actually, this one does smell. The Shieldaig does smell sweeter.
Again, though, it's been sitting in the cup a little longer, but let's try. So, taste-wise, this is bringing so much more flavor. You get more of that stinky feet flavor that I always talk about. Like that. Now, try that one again. This one, to me, JB, well, whichever one you want to try. To me, it sat on your tongue longer.
It does
brought a secondary flavor. Like you get the initial hit of the original Scotch, but then it brings something else that I can't even tell you what that is. It coats a little
and that's
longer.
probably why the old timers like that, because it does.
It boasts flavor.
They're probably both the same proof, but that one's.
I think that's 80 actually. I think this one's a 90. This one's 90. No, this is 80. I apologize. 80. This is 80 and 80. Yep.
But
it brings more flavor.
Right.
Smooth as silk too. J&B just goes right.
It does, but that's probably why they like this one, because it's probably a mixer as well.
Oh, you say that. I don't think I've ever mixed. I've never mixed a Scotch that I've had with anything. Overall, what I'm saying is I really can't say it's better or worse than any other Scotch that we've had. I think it's right in line. It is actually.
That one's sweeter than probably all the other Scotches that we've done.
You know, now that I just went back to this one, because the other one just boasted you get that traditional Scotch, but this one does. I was almost getting like a brown sugar. And I don't know if that was just in my head, because you keep saying sweet. To me, it does almost give me a little bit, like just not a lot, like way deep. Where it does have a secondary flavor. I mean, you can even see the difference in color.
Did you ever do in school, and you put the string in the sugar water, and then you come out and you add the sugar candy?
Make the rock candy?
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that. That's a long time ago. But
yeah, it is a long time ago.
For those that are not supposed to be watching this channel, it's a neat little trick. Like just sugar water in a string, but
I like it. I really do. I like it. I forget what the J&B. I think we said that was like $30 for the handle. I forget if I even wrote it on it. I got that as a gift. So
this one actually has more. Oh. It's got no price.
No, I got that one as a gift. I think I Googled it and it was like $33 for a handle of it.
I guess I can't see. I thought that was below the tag. I would have grabbed that one first.
No, that was the fullest one. I haven't gone back to it. I remember liking it in...
for me, I lean more towards...
I agree.
The whiskey and the bourbon.
I started out drinking Scotch, and it's nice sometimes when you're sitting out by the fire and I'm just chilling and I'm having them. But now that I'm comparing them, there's nothing to compare it to other than the two other ones that I drank. Yeah, because you got to compare a Scotch to a Scotch. You're not going to try to flavor it with
and you definitely not want to grab one of these, and then the next drink you're going to go grab a Scotch. And then you got to go back to one of these, because At some point, you're gonna hate one of them.
No, it's night and day. That's why
It is
I haven't gravitated back to them
You almost,
unless I'm
like
gonna
you
drink.
said, you almost need to like take the 3 bottles, and that's what you
and
sample
drink it.
it
And that's
tonight.
I'm drinking Scotch tonight, and then you can get a better comparison because they don't compare. And the more we keep bringing them out, we will have. This is our 4th bottle, so there is plenty to start comparing to. And we actually have one over there.
And we are working on. We're thinking of a rack system, and then we'll have a Scotch, our top say 3, and possibly an Irish section, and then possibly. Obviously, these are the top that we're gonna probably try to keep in the middle.
And
It's a revolving little idea.
I do want to start doing actual, whatever we call it, a whiskey war of some sort. So we say these are our top 3 because the last 3 we bought. But I want to do a blind. I want to see. And eventually when we get more subscribers, and if you guys would vote, I want to throw up your 4 suggestions, and then whoever we end up getting to see
even still
who they think.
Throw up what you.
Yeah,
what was your go-to? Everyone was in high school. Everyone was young and dumb, and you
some
bought.
of us are old and dumb now, but it's
and bought. Was it worked?
Or what is?
It still could be your favorite.
If because you have your daily drinkers, but I mean, if you drink anything like we do, let's just be honest. I'm not buying $150 bottles because it's taken everything I have not to kill these 750 milliliters. I'm doing like a little bit, and I revert back to the other ones when But I'm actually not as drinking as much as I used to, anyways. But with that being said, what is your go-to, or what do you think is the best cheap or inexpensive? And that's why I always went with the reason I went with 10 High. Like you said, half the people never even heard of it. That's what I settled on. Because
funny too, like a lot of the guys that I work with, they were like Evan Williams kind of was their go-to low end.
Mm-hmm.
But since they've been watching, they've actually tried a fistful of bourbon, and they've tried a couple of the others, and they're like, you guys really weren't out to lunch. So I mean, on the low end, we're doing our best.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of them out there, and that was the whole thing.
Is.
I walked into the store, I grabbed the same 3 bottles, and plastic ones. I could carry them all to the register, put them on there, and I left. And that's
all. It dropped. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. So that's how I used to. So it's interesting doing it like this because there is a large variety of not big money bourbon, whiskey, whatever you want to call it.
Way more than I thought, actually.
Yeah.
The more we keep wandering around.
Yeah, and the more places we keep hitting, the more I'm like, ooh, look at this one. This is only at this store, or look at this one. This is only at this store. So
I literally walked in and just went down to the whiskey aisle and went up and down, and
we do have one,
and walked out just because I just want to see what
we have. One secret one I found, and I've been stalling trying to get it, but I think we're gonna end up doing that one next because I'm interested to find out what it's all about. I've been watching this one and this, so stay tuned for that. It's a little teaser. I'm not gonna tell you anything more about it, but here you go. There is, we've gone long on this one because we tried too many whiskeys, but Scotch whiskey. See, I'm covered because it is a whiskey. But Shieldaig, or however you say it, and I apologize if I'm massacring it.
Yeah, accents we're not good at.
No.
Even though I work with a few Irish.
Well, that's Scottish.
They might not like that. Yeah, that's all right. They'll just...
In theory, we're Scottish, but then we found out we're Italian, so who knows,
They'll make a comment down below.
Yeah, well, there you go. We like comments anyway, so there you go. I would give it a try. I think it's actually really good, and for the price tag, $15.99, I don't think you can go bad if you want to try something different.
I kind of like it.
I agree.
Not even kind of.
I will be interested to see.
Prefer this
I will be interested to see what this does when it opens up, because I'm thinking whatever that flavor is going to make its way through the top. But I am kind of getting, the more this is sat in my cup, and I only got a little bit left,
I can still
get it might even be like the brown sugar, or like you said, a sugar cane type thing where you're getting a flavor.
I get that little
it could be
sweetness, but not, because that candy really didn't have a lot of.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sugar daddy. It's not. I get no caramel.
Usually I get the straight medicinal, and that's what I'm getting a lot of this on. But you do get something. In the other ones. Yeah. And this one, there is an underlying thing. Maybe I'll have to do a little research. I'll get better at this. But there you go. I'm battling on.
Yeah.
Shieldaig. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Subscribe.
Spend less. Drink more. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm,
It is
I'm,
almost candy like.
I'm